Hello people, I'm Ginny Metheral and I am a 4th generation witch. Today's video is part of my ever popular Almanac series, which is an online almanac for witchcraft in each month. And of course, today we're going to be looking at witchcraft in April. As always with these videos, what I like to do is to give you a general overview of the witchcraft trends in April and any traditions that we should be looking out for. And then we will delve into the individual witchcraft for each day. And I can tell you about the traditions, the folklore and the spells that you might use for those particular times. So with that in mind, let's start with our general overview. The Anglo-Saxons called April Easter Moneth, meaning month of Easter. Now, we don't really know where Easter, the word, comes from. It's so beguiling, isn't it? It could be to do with its root being from the east, where the dawn is bringing all that magical sunlight. It could be dealing with the goddess Easter, or perhaps it's even womanhood and the word estrogen. We don't know. However, there is obviously some root with the word Easter, because of course April is generally when Easter is. So, other trends for April, I want to talk about wildlife, because now is the time when the dawn chorus is really gathering its stride. It hasn't hit its heights, that happens in May, but it is certainly going apace. And we are joined this month by the blackbirds and the thrush, who add their voices to those that are already calling at dawn. Birds, of course, are flying back to us to lay their eggs, if they haven't already, for the summer months. And this, again, brings that egg theme into April, and we should celebrate that. Likewise, it's the time that butterflies start emerging. The first butterfly of the season in the UK is normally the brimstone butterfly, which is a bright yellow, beautiful butterfly. It's butter yellow in the male and a slightly paler green in the female. It's called brimstone because that's the old word for sulphur, and sulphur is of course yellow. Traditional wise, it is considered extremely good luck to see your first butterfly of the year as a brimstone. It means we're going to have a great summer. Finally, April is the month when the primrose is at its most glorious in the year. The primrose is especially folkloric and has a lot of traditions associated with it. One of the main ones is that it very much helps you to see the fae. So what you should do is that you should go and eat primrose flowers by the light of the full moon. And this will ensure that the magic of the primrose opens your sight so that you can go out and look at the fair folk. Other ways of doing this is to take a bunch of primrose and carefully place it on a fairy mound, if you happen to know where a fairy mound is. And then wait, and by the light of the moon, you should be able to see the fair folk emerge from their homes. Wearing primroses, likewise, is thought to cure madness and attract love. And in fact, parents used to place primroses underneath the pillows of their children. So as they slept, they would bring loyalty and love to their parents forevermore. It's an all-round great plant, the primrose. And every year it does gladden my heart because it is so wonderful. So that is my overview. Now let's look at the day-to-day magic that you might be doing throughout the month of April. And of course we're going to start with the 1st of April, which is April Fool's Day. Nobody really knows where April Fool's Day comes from. It was very popular in France in the 1700s and the UK, but you could only pull your April Fool pranks before midday. After midday, you became the fool. Likewise, if you're born on the 1st of April, you are considered extremely lucky in everything except gambling. No putting your shirt on the Grand National winner this month because you're gonna get nothing for it. The 1st of April is of course the first of the new moons of April. New moons are all about new beginnings and new ventures. and they are helped along by the attributes of the star sign that they are in. And so the 1st of April's new moon is in Aries. Aries is all about boldness, go-getting, adventuresome. So all those new adventures that you're looking to do will work well between now and the next 6 months. Of course, witches use the new moon to look at what has been working well for them each month, and those things that have been going as they thought they should, they will keep, and they will discard those that don't. The 3rd of April is Daffodil Sunday. This is a rather old traditional custom where children would go out into the hedgerows and pick the wild daffodils. They would then bring these posies of daffodils and give them to the sick and the infirm. It is a rather wonderful charm to give to those who are in need at the moment. Daffodil is a flower of childhood, of hope and of cheerfulness. With these 2 new moons in April, we're going to be looking at something which really happens about this time of the year, and that is earth shine. This is where the new moons, which are the dark side of the moon, are lit up by the reflection of the Earth's light. Earthshine happens 3 days either side of each new moon, so the best time to see it is between 28th of March and the 3rd of April, and likewise you're looking at the 27th to the 2nd of May. When we have this earth shine, it was called the old moon being in the new moon's arms. And it makes the new moon incredibly potent, especially for spells around the 3rd sight and your inner eye. So if you want to improve your psychic sight, so you can see auras or the fair folk or anything like that, do a spell for this on the new moon. And if you don't know how to do that, I'll put up my How to See the Fair Folk video here for you, so you can try that instead. The 14th of April is Cuckoo Day. Cuckoos are those amazingly beautiful birds with the stripy tummies that parasite other birds' nests. So they lay their eggs in other birds' nests, their eggs hatch first, evict all the other eggs from the nest, and then the poor parents are forced to feed this gigantic, enormous alien baby. One cuckoo can lay up to 50 eggs. They only come for about 3 or 4 months and don't even rear there long, and then they disappear back to Africa. But however, they are the stuff of legend. The 14th of April is the day when you should first hear, so it is said, the cuckoo's song. Now, there's a lot of traditions associated with this. If you hear a cuckoo calling, it's really important to count the number of times you hear them sing. This is so that if you are unmarried, the number of times the cuckoo calls will be the number of years before you get married. And if you are already married, the number of times the cuckoo calls will be the number of years until you die. So that's nice, isn't it? If you are standing on grass when you hear the cuckoo calling for the first time, you will have great luck throughout the year. If you're standing on stone, woe betide you. And if you're lying in bed, you're going to be struck by great illness. However, if you have some coins in your pocket, you must jingle the coins along with the cuckoo's calling, and this will give you amazing prosperity and wealth throughout the rest of the year. 17th of April is, of course, Easter Sunday. I love an Easter Sunday, only because you get to eat a load of hot cross buns. Now, these are possibly the most pagan of buns. They are not the cross of the Christian faith. They are the square-armed cross. They were adopted by the Christians when they brought Christianity to this country. So go yonder and eat as many hot cross buns as you choose, safe in the knowledge that you're doing something really rather pagan. The 16th of April is the night of the full moon. This is known by Indigenous Americans as the pink moon. The Anglo-Saxons called it the new shoots moon, the seedling moon, or the budding moon, reflecting the agricultural practices of the time. This full moon is incredibly powerful. And as part of a coven, this is when we would like to meet, because we know that the moon will add its strength and potency to any spells that we're casting as a group. It's a particularly lovely day to make some moon water. You could use it in any fertility spell, for example, that you might be wanting to do. The 23rd of April is St George's Day, the patron saint of England. Now I'm going to tell you the tale of St George because it's rather lovely. It happened in Uffington, which is in Oxfordshire. Near Uffington there is a place called Dragon's Hill, and on the top of this hill you'll find a sparse, barren patch of land. And this is supposedly where St George killed the dragon itself, and the dragon's blood was so poisonous that nothing there may now grow, even though it's hundreds of years later. The story of the George and the dragon is as follows. The town was riddled by the dragon's plague. The dragon was carrying off the cattle, the sheep and the humans. The townsfolk decided to make a sacrifice each day, and so for the first week they left a sheep every day by the dragon's lair. However, this wasn't enough. The dragon still attacked. The next week they tried 2 sheep. Again, didn't seem to make a difference. So the third week they decided it was time to offer human flesh to the dragon. The townsfolk were elected by lot, and so each day 1 sheep and 1 youth was taken to the dragon's lair to be devoured. One day, when the lots were cast, it turned out that the king's daughter was chosen as the dragon's next sacrifice victim. The king offered all his money to the townsfolk, asking them to choose someone else, but they said no, what is good enough for our children is good enough for yours. So the next morn, the child was dressed up as a bride, with a white veil and a long white gown and a girdle at her waist. She was led in procession by the townsfolk as they cast flowers in front of her and sang songs about her. During this procession, St George was riding by and he asked what was happening, and upon being told the reason that this child was being led to the dragon's lair, he lowered his lance, he pushed on his horse, and he ran and charged straight into the dragon's lair and wounded the dragon with his lance. He then shouted to the girl, the king's daughter, to throw him her girdle, because a virgin's girdle has great magical power. He grasped the girdle and he placed it about the neck of the dragon, whereupon the dragon became as meek and mild as a lamb. He led the dragon to the top of the hill, and he told the townsfolk that he would slay the dragon if they all became Christian, and not surprisingly, every single one of them did. He slayed the dragon on Dragon's Hill in Uffington, and we have the patch of bare land to prove it. Finally, we come to the 30th of April. There's a lot going on this day, so bear with me. First of all, it's the second of the new moons of April, and this is the black moon. This moon is in Taurus. The Taurian characters that this new moon brings to us are kindness, strength in working, and determination. So any new ventures that require any of these characteristics that you're considering, now's the time to do this. Likewise, don't forget to go outside on these days and look for the Earthshine new moons. This black moon will have great strength for prosperity and luck, and these spells will carry on for the next 6 months. The 30th of April is also the traditional Devil's birthday, and it is known as the night where witches hold their revels. The night of the 30th of April, witches would fly out on their broomsticks to gather atop the big hills of the area. Here they would dance with the devil in drunken, orgiastic parties and renew their vows for the year to their master. Hence why the people of the villages and the towns would light large bonfires to keep away evil. They would hang their doors with primroses and cowslips to repel the witches away, and they would not go out that night. However, the Anglo-Saxons used this day as the start of Beltane. Beltane is one of the 4 great quarter-day feasts, meaning there's 4 of them in the year, and it is a fire festival. It starts on the 30th of April at sunset, at this time a great bonfire would be lit. These fires would be kept going right through May Day. Now, I'm not going to go further into the Beltane customs and celebrations that you might be doing, because I will be putting up a video in a couple of weeks about this. So look out for that in due course. Do let me know in the comments below which traditions you like, or do you have any for April yourself? I would love to hear. Don't forget, my covered meeting for April is still coming up, and we'll be doing something very exciting. Haven't decided yet what, but it will follow on from all the learnings that we've accrued over the last few months. It is a perfect place to learn witchcraft, so if you would like to join us, do go to patreon.com/Ginny Metheral for further details. In the meantime, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in another few days.